Can't believe we lost the challenges.
Hey guys, as you're probably all aware, got a joint MSO-based operation with the guys at 16 AA, which is due to start in 2 weeks. See, they're air mobile troops, so they use a lot of helis, and we'll be operating with them, so we need to know how to use the helis as well, which is going to be obviously the main point of this training session. Friz is going to be running us through all the various drills and skills we need to make sure we can do competently. Friz.
Cool, thanks. Right, 3 things we're going to cover, as Dark just said, very, very simple. One is how to get into a helicopter in good order so you don't get your asses shot off and under control. One is dismounting in a controlled manner, so we go immediately into all-round defense and don't get slotted. And the third most important thing that you need to know as an individual bod is about marking a helicopter landing zone and then calling that information to the helicopter pilot, because it might be any of you who has to do it.
Especially if you're in 2 sections.
I will cover briefly after that the 9-liners. Initially for the Kazavac drills, again, it's useful for you all to know. I don't expect you to be able to get it right first time, but there's lots of cribs out there if you need them. This helicopter's flying over again, hold on.
Although everyone just looks over.
See, what we're wondering is how much fuel Keith has put in that chopper and how many fly past it can do before it ditches on the top of us.
And then then I'll touch on the close air support CAS 9-liner as well, and talk about calling on the station, which is normally something that NCOs will do, but it's just for interest point at the end. Okay, if you'd like to dress over towards the Merlin, if you just stay on the hard standing, i.e. this concrete bit at the moment, break up into your sections and go into herringbone formation, facing the Merlin. DK, if you'd like to mount up, but keep the rotors off for now.
Okay, 1 section on the left facing, 2 section on the right.
People at the end can't hear, then just close in a bit so you can. Effectively what we got here is the loading position for a side door, 2-door helicopter, which in this case the BAF Merlin is. Normally Merlins are rear loading, but in this case we've got side loading ones. Effectively what we're doing is loading under control, so you're taking off from a fob or an area where you have all-round fence provided by another section. The purpose of this is that it's maximising health and safety and command and control for your section commanders and the dudes. What you've lined up into are what's known as sticks or chalks. So each chalk is a section or a stick, and you're in a position where you can see the pilot and the pilot can see you. The section commanders up front will be looking into the pilot. When the pilot is happy, he's landed, and he gives the thumbs up. That is your position, your cue to then mount the helicopter. Obviously, the reason you come from the front is so you don't get chewed up by the rotor blades, and with ACE this does happen. And basically, if they've got a load master, he'll pop out and he'll direct you into it. But essentially, one section will be using that's one section on the right-hand side, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right, Friz.
Yeah, my right. Okay, one section will be using the right-hand side of the helicopter, 2 sections the left-hand side of the helicopter. You need to remember which side you're mounting in, because you will be getting out the same side. And you'll notice once you're in the helicopter, you have an option to jump out left or jump out right. You want to make sure that you're coming out the right side. Okay. What we'll do then is assume that we'll do this a silent drill first. So very, very simple. We're lined up on our chalks. Get the thumbs up from DK. DK say thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
And you can all mount. Nice and simple. And you run towards the helicopter and get in. But it's a bit more controlled than your standard bomb burst charge in from all different angles. So you want to be following your lead scouts and getting in.
Right, let's go.
Already live.
This is where you spot the bugs with the BAF helicopter.
Who's that? Numpty, I think?
Agree, I think I'm last man.
Yes,
Legion, you need to shout out last man for 2 section.
McVie, last man in.
It's run out of space.
I can't get in.
How far down the road are we going?
Well, luckily we're not moving. One thing we have worked out is that the Bath Merlin doesn't have as many seats as it says on the tin. Right.
I love
I'll put
working
my
with you
head
guys,
through the
you're
door
so
and talk to you.
professional at times.
Okay, you're all in. You should now see on your action menu an opportunity to jump out left or jump out right. Has everybody not got that? Cool. So you remembered which side you took. Obviously not you, DK, you're the pilot. Once we are in the air, we do our thing. Obviously, with your barrels of your rifles should be pointing down, so you don't shoot your heads off if you have an ND. But then we get towards the LZ, or the LZ, the landing zone, and the pilot will call time. So he'll call 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, touchdown. And then when he's happy, he will shout, go, go, go. And you will jump out in the same direction that you mounted. So it was, I can't remember now, 2 section right, I think, wasn't it?
2 section on the left.
1
section on the left, 1 section on the right. Whichever, anyway, the same section you went. What you then do is the lead scout treats the 3 o'clock of the helicopter and the 9 o'clock as his access. So he'll go straight out at right angles to the helicopter and jump down. Everybody else then will then filter around into all-round defence. So what you should have is 1 section on one side of the helicopter in all-round defence, from the nose to the tail, and the other in all-round defence also from the nose to the tail. And you want to be pushing out at least 30 to 50 metres, so you're well clear of the helicopter. The helicopter then lifts off, and what you should then have is a standard all-round defence setup, and the section commander 2IC can pull back into the middle, get orders from the platoon commander, and you carry on from there. But it's got to be quick, it's got to be slick, and it's got to be well ordered. If we find that complicated, there is an easy way of doing it, which I can talk about in a minute, but we'll give it a go. So, coming in for landing, 10 seconds to go. Parry your monkeys and parrots. Spark up, wake up, come back to the computer, and touchdown. Go, go, go. Normally a helicopter would have a load master in him, and the load master be checking that everybody's out.
I come out right for some reason.
Yeah, I pressed left and came out right. Weird.
If you came out the wrong side, then go around the nose of the helicopter. Don't go around the tail, because the tail will get your head shot off.
Alex, you should be basically on the 12 o'clock of the aircraft.
Yeah, let's just place you in a minute. It should be a normal.
Yeah, Roger, sorry, mate.
Which means the lead scout
Yeah.
is at our 9 o'clock position of the helicopter.
Right.
Okay, it's pretty good, 1 section. So just for clarity, as Dave's come out and gone 3 o'clock, if you just imagine then we're an extended line facing east, but we're in a semicircle. That's the position you should be taking. So LMGs are both out on the flanks, and then between the lead scouts and your LMGs you've got the rest of the section. So good job. Okay, one, let's form up again at the nose.
Zone is chalking up, so everybody chalk up 12 o'clock the helicopter.
Chris,
Yeah.
try to give I think there's a block on when they jump out, so have 2 or 3 guys.
So Dart, the key thing is when you say we're mounting up on the right, you mean the helicopter's right, not our right, yeah?
Ended up on the left
Possibly.
side.
It's not. It's game limitation. Okay. Everybody chalked up. You see the purpose of it though is the aim is that you get the LMG gunners at the cardinal points with the scouts out to the sides. Idea being that if a helicopter lands with its nose towards the direction of enemy threat is nice. Normally it would land with its nose towards the wind, but we don't have much wind in armed assault, so we don't bother about it too much. But it just keeps it nice and simple for everyone. Okay guys, so we're happy with that. Let's close in the back of the Chinook again, so chalk up, slight difference here. Now with Chinooks, you want to be chalked up quite close to each other, whereas with front or side loading helicopters, you want each chalk about 45 degrees to the helicopter so they can come in under control. On a rear loading helicopter like a Chinook, you're actually closed up right next to each other. One side is basically going to file down the left-hand side of the aircraft and the other's down the right-hand side of the aircraft, and you can load 2 chalks at once, so it's much quicker. Chinook has a crew of 3, obviously you've got pilot, co-pilot, and you'll normally have a loadmaster who usually mans the GPMG on the back as well, but he'll be controlling your entry in this case other than the pilot, because obviously the pilot's looking forward and can't see you. In some cases on operations you'll also have 2 extra crew members who are manning the machine guns either side of it. But for the purposes of armed assault we'll be manning those ourselves, so whoever gets one, you luck out, well done you. So we're chalked up, ready to go at the fob. We've called off our names, done our kit checks. Chinook's rotors blades are turning, and the loadmaster says he's ready, gives you the thumbs up, and you'll file in again, calling last man. Dismounting drills are exactly the same, so in your own time, let's mount up.
Okay, let's get on one.
Normally, obviously, dismounting from a Chinook, you'll be coming out the back. I think in armed assault you come out all sides, don't you? If you can, try not to take the loadmaster's position, but don't worry about it too much.
Let me know when you're done.
Tell you what, if I take the rear slot.
Yeah, I patched up from bleeding, mate. I just need to jab you some morphine to so you're blurring in and out.
2 section last man in.
If they ask where I am, tell them I've just gone to go get some more stores.
1 section last man in.
We're going to keep emptying into each other, it might be a good idea.
Fucking nightmare.
It's not letting me in the chopper.
Someone
Because I see
cover up the hole in the floor.
No.
There's definitely a seat left. Loads of seats left.
Yeah, I'm back.
Everyone's in, everyone's in.
Now.
Bizarrely, the rear gun is actually looking forward, which is very disconcerting. So is that last man from both sections?
Roger.
Yep. Okay. DK, take us for a spin around the same deal with dismounting, guys. Remember which side you were on when you started, and you just bomb burst into all-round defence. Pretty rough and ready. Keep it slick.
Okay, 1 section on this, we mounted on the left. As it's a rear mounting, you come out and go right to get us on the right hand, on the correct side of the helicopter. Roger.
Nicola, yeah.
How many combats are
30 seconds. Ten. Go, go, go!
Go, go, go!
So we get to section 90 degrees.
All out, you're clear to lift off.
Right, 1 section, stay down where you first go. I want to check the position.
Once you guys are squared away, if you just move the platoon to an area of open space, and we can practice setting up LZs.
Yeah, roger. Jez, get you guys on me. We're going to head southwest down the runway, just to an open area.
Roger.
Okay, 1 section, we're moving southwest down the runway, just so we can get a bit of space.
Yep.
You little Canadian wanker.
Hey, hey. That's uncalled for.
And as for you, Bacon Boy. On gun.
DK, okay, over.
Don't you shush me, man. I'll kill you.
Ewan, can you grow a moustache like that in real life?
I wish.
He's only about 12.
Yeah, but he's 16 stone.
He's got 3 times as much testosterone as you, though, Clarky.
Not from the pictures I've seen.
Just listen to the man, he exudes manliness. Okay, max it, Dave. Over.
Okay, well, we're just sorting ourselves out there, guys. Sorry about that. What we're going to do now is very briefly cover setting up a landing zone, which is something that everybody needs to know because it could be anybody who's asked to do it. And of course, you could be one of the last people left who's not horribly wounded, so you're going to have to know how to do this. The basics of setting up a landing zone. The most important thing is selecting the landing zone properly. You need to make sure that there's no hazards around, so you've got good, firm, solid footing, which is pretty easy in armed assault because pretty much is everything firm and solid footing, but it's got to be a minimum of a maximum of 5 degree slope, preferably. Some helicopters can land on a higher slope, like a Puma, but the big boys like the Chinooks and the Merlins need a fairly level slope. Rows make ideal places because they're flat, they're solid, and they're easy for the pilot to see. Obviously, you don't want too many overhanging trees or power lines, and you also want to clear the area of booby traps and landmines. So if you cast your minds back to the rather distant P1 training, when we went up towards RV1, there was a nice copse of trees in the open. You would have gone into a short stop there and then moved forward and cleared the area of landmines, enemy presence, etc., etc. Exactly the same for a landing zone. You want to clear the area first, ensure that it's free from enemy, booby traps, mines, etc., or any other obstacles, and then you need to mark it out. Various different ways of marking an LZ. We'll cover just the one that we do during the daylight, and since we've got them, we'll use the VS marker panels, which are basically day globe panels, which are very easy to see from a helicopter miles up in the air. Normally these would want to be fixed securely to the ground. Wait for the helicopter to bugger off. But again, armed assault side is very easy. You just place them down using to plonk it on the ground, and then you can re-interact with it to flip it over to the different colour. Okay.
So can you just repeat that about putting them down?
I think you use your ace interaction key to plonk them down, and then you can use it again to flip them over, and then again I think to pick it up. Okay, so if we'll do a walkthrough, talk-through demonstration. So everyone wants to close up to the side of the runway here, and those are you two guys carrying the marker panels for?
Yep.
And we got 5 between you.
Yep. I've got 3. I've got 2.
Okay, happy days. Okay, basic LZ marking, LZ marking. Okay, LZ is American, obviously. HLS, helicopter landing site. That's better. Basic HLS marking, known as the NATO T or the NATO Y. Okay. What I'll demonstrate first is the NATO T, the most commonly used, and effectively use the marker panels to create a T on the ground. The head of the T, the cross bit, is normally going to be pointing towards the wind direction, so the helicopter will land into the wind. Obviously we don't have wind to worry about in armed assault, so for this we'll generally use the direction of enemy threat. But for the cases here, we will use the helicopter landing with its nose pointing northeast down the runway towards where we started. So what we do is start off by placing a single marker panel in the centre, here facing sideways across the runway. So if you want to plonk one there, Dave. Doesn't matter which side for now. Okay. Just on the edge of the runway. And again, the same orientation. And once you've done that, you can put one on the far side as well, same distance. Meanwhile, you'll be putting them the same way, again, lengthways here, again, 5 to 10 meter separation. Plonk one there facing uppy downy. And then again, the last one, again, another 5 to 10 meters. And plonk it down, same orientation. 5 to 10 feet, not meters, close enough. So what you got there is your basic NATO T, and the helicopter will land at the base of the T, about here. So he uses the T there as a reference, so he can see that it's a nice clear landing zone for him, and he'll aim to land where I'm standing now, with the nose of his aircraft probably about here. Which tells you, as a chalk, you're going to have one chalk lined up on this edge of the T, and the other chalk lined up on the far edge of the T. So if you remember when we did our mounting drills for the Merlin, you're both at a nice 45-degree angle to the nose of the helicopter, decent separation, it's all very, very simple. So is that clear to everyone?
Yeah, what about for Chinook, where it's the other way around?
For a Chinook, you actually use what's known as a NATO Y, but you can use the T as well, and it's absolutely fine. Just you can just chalk up at the back if it's going to be a Chinook. Incidentally, I should add, for the sake of 16AA, if it's a Chinook, they will always refer to themselves as Giant. If it's a Huey, they'll refer to themselves as Hawk. So you know what type of helicopter they're flying. So Giant 1, for instance, will be the pilot flying a Chinook. Okay, so the NATO Y then, very similar. In essence, the point of it is the same. It's to give a nice reference point for the helicopter to land. Chinook pilots quite often prefer the NATO Y because they have a very wide rotor wash. So the first of the NATO Y starts off here, facing up and down, so towards the towards where we're coming. Cool. And then again, 5 to 10 feet between it. You put two more. So one here, and another one down here. And then the Y shape is formed 30 to 40 degrees out to the sides. So it's kind of an upside down Y really. And you plonk the other one this side. And again, the helicopter will use that as a reference to come in and land with its nose approximately on between the sort of the arms of the Y, using the end of it as a reference.